بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم أما بعد. We've been discussing the prohibited elements in the contract. So we talked about the causes that invalidate any transactions. Right? So we talked about the first one is actually usuri, interest, which is a riba. So in last few classes we talked about riba. We talked about the riba on credit, which is a riba and nasi'ah. We also talked about a riba al-fadl, which is a riba on cash. So today we are going to talk about the another element that actually invalidate any transactions if you have that, which is called a gharar, right? Which is actually ambiguity. There are differences between it's literally meaning uncertainty, but there are differences between uncertainty, risk, and also ambiguity, which is a gharar. Sometimes the translation might give you some sort of differences, but you should not always stick with the translation. You should stick with the real Arabic term. In this case, it is actually a gharar. Like last time, we have the word riba, right? Not necessary that meaning of riba, the entire meaning of riba should come into the meaning of interest. A riba could be bigger than interest, right? So it's like, when you translate a word, for example, a word of taqwa. How do you translate the word taqwa into English? Is it fear of Allah? Is it being pious? It is being good among people, good in front of Allah. So, which is the right meaning of taqwa? To answer to that question, it's actually everything. Taqwa has many characteristics of being. It's not only fearing of Allah. There are so many aspects of taqwa. So it is impossible to bring the translation which is completely equal to, because it is impossible to translate any language with its 100% of with full meaning. You can't do that. That's the reason why there is a differences between the real Quran and also the translation of the Quran. I don't think there is one translation which completely 100% can represent what Quran says. Unless you understand the Quran yourself, you go through the tafsir. So I think that is what I wanted to give you this example, because when you talk about riba, not necessarily it has to be completely what we call interest today. It could be bigger than that. So when it comes to gharar, it literally means uncertainty, danger. Technically means it refers to a sale contract which is attractive to the purchaser in its form, but unknown and ambiguous in its substance. So inside something, outside something else. From outside it looks very attractive. So bay'ul gharari huwa ma kana lahu zahirun yughirru al-mushtari wa batinun majhul. That is what could be unknown and ambiguous in its substance. So if you go to any supermarket or any other market, and then you see something very attractive, it's a possibility of a gharar is there. From outside looks original, and nowadays you can see so many items that they are selling. It looks like original shoe, original brand, phones or shirts. Even today they have the caps and everything. Even today, they are selling paintings and all. Those are the things they are doing, forgeries and all. They are cloning, right? So there's so many things actually when it comes to gharar. The parties or one of them may not know what could be achieved from the contract. All right. Even if you are selling a box full of items and then your buyer doesn't know what is inside, and you say, okay, whatever inside I give you for 100 ringgit, and he doesn't know what is inside, then I think it is a kind of gharar, because one of the condition is you must know what is inside, because you have to determine al-mabi'. Al-mabi' is what? The thing that you are selling, right? So Quran prohibits all those dealings where the intention is to deceive one of the parties in the contract. So Quran says, Ya ayyuhallazina amanu la ta'kulu amwalakum bainakum bil batil. Muslims should not devour one another's property wrongfully. There is no way that we can wrongfully deal. We can take somebody's property wrongfully. And Prophet ﷺ said, actually, Hazrat Abu Huraira saying, Prophet ﷺ used to prohibit anil bay and bayil gharari wa an bayil hashati. Right? So these are the things Prophet ﷺ never allow that kind of a gharar when it comes to trading. Right? So these include sale transaction concluding by those days like called hasad. While hasad is actually throwing the stones, or by mere touching without proper inspection. I think the methods could be different. But this kind of tradition is always there. Those days, like 1400 years ago, there was a tradition of throwing the stones, and then if it hits, it's for you. If it is not, it's not for you. Maybe like, for example, if you are negotiating with someone and you touch it, if you touch the product, you should buy it. These kind of practices, which is actually wrong practices, but I'm telling you, maybe the methods changed, the people remain same. If you go to some places, I think you will notice this, you will experience this. There are some market which is actually not like a supermarket. If you go to kind of market where people selling on the street, right? If you go there and then somehow they will make you buy. There could be some kind of gharar elements, and then even throwing those days, throwing the stones. Maybe now we are throwing the circles, so throwing some rings. What about that? You go to a place and you buy 10 ringgit for, you buy 5 rings for 10 ringgit, and then you come back and then you play with your luck. You say that you play with your luck, but there is no such thing, right? So and then you just throw the ring and then you get it. If you get it, it is yours. If it is not, it is not yours, but you have already paid some money. So what is the value of that money? So nowadays it becomes like fun. It's like a fun fair, right? So these are the things actually we need to talk about: ambiguity, gharar. So now it is not about you throwing that 5 rings for 10 ringgit. It is about the industry is already established, and that industry is now making millions and millions. And you started throwing the rings. You let your children, your siblings throw the ring, and one day the same person started playing games, gamblings. Nowadays even the COVID-19 didn't stop gamblers. You think They cannot go to such places. Do you think they stop gambling? No. So that practice, that desire is never stop. Actually, now people even play more because they have more time. They stay home using the phone. There are so many applications actually currently available to give you that kind of facilities, and you can sit down and play and then make money. They say make money. So on what basis? This is where actually we are playing with money and we are not putting it in the right place. This is all comes under gharar, and that kind of transaction is actually totally against of fiqh al-mu'amalat. That is what we are teaching. The main reason for the prohibition of gharar, what is the reason of the gharar? What is the reason of the prohibition? Because it involves fraudulent. Yeah, gharar. They also amount to be obtaining the property of others unlawfully, which may subsequently leads to disputes and disagreement between the parties. So there is no happy faces when this kind of transaction goes. Maybe one day you are lucky, you think you are lucky, you get it. The other day, the desire will make you to go back. The desire will tell you, if you go back again, you can gain again, because you are the luckiest person in the city. Today you got this. Today you throw the ring, you got this. Why not tomorrow? You are the same person, right? So go tomorrow, do the same, throwing the ringing again, throwing the rings. You may get the bigger one. You get the big fish. So you see, this kind of thing comes inside and make you go there, and then you lose again. That's what happened usually. It's a kind of gambling, people playing around, they are wasting their money and everything. This is a big disease. This is a kind of psychological disease people are having today. They can get easy money out of it, but they are actually losing the money. And remember, to me and to you, it looks like, that 10 ringgit throwing the rings. But remember, we are helping to establish an industry. The industry is the industry is based on our desires, and that industry now opened shops and machines everywhere. You go and you see every single places, every single market, you will see this kind of things. The machines are there. They will ask you to put 1 ringgit. To you and to me, it's just 1 ringgit, because we don't value that money. We don't value that 1 ringgit. But for the people who put that machine, for the people who run that kind of industry, for them every single ringgit matters. There are hundreds of you, like people like us, go and put that 1 ringgit. So he gets easily 100 ringgit every day. And then he will be building more and more and more shops, and more and more machines in every shops. And then and by spending your 1 ringgit, which you don't give the value, you and me, we are creating that industry. That industry is becoming bigger and bigger and bigger. One day our children's, our grandchildren will go into that, we will never know. And that industry will become into something whereby we will start applying for the loan. We will start seeking the money from somebody to go to that kind of places, and then in a way we will become debtors, right? So that is what actually the culture is still going on, is happening. So we have to be very careful. So this is all, we're going to talk about it in this topic, which is actually ambiguity. We call it a gharar. Okay, what causes that leads to gharar? Gharar may arise when the subject matter of a contract is non-existent, non-deliverable, cannot be acquired. Yeah, if something that is not exist, if there is something that cannot deliver, and something that you cannot acquire by yourself, you cannot receive it by yourself, which is not clearly defined, right? The examples given here, for example, if someone selling the fish in the water, or the birds in the air, right? Even someone um, selling the fetus in the womb of an animal, which didn't come out. We don't know whether the fetus will come out alive or not, right? Or maybe a sale of runaway animal. What I mean by that, there is a example. There is an example given in the Muwatta Malik, Imam Malik, talking about this. Let's say if someone has a camel which cost 50 dinar, and then he lost it. He lost it. He was finding it, but he lost it. But he came and he told someone, I lost my 50 dinar camel. 50 dinar camel. You give me 20 dinar. You give me 20 dinar. If you get it, it's yours. But if you don't get it yours, you cannot come back and ask me 20 dinars. Are you willing to take this? Right? So this is a kind of deal, which actually Imam Malik is actually describing the example in Muwatta. So you can get this kind of examples, many examples like this today. So now the camel has been lost. The amount of the camel is 50 dinar. But he says that you just pay me 20 dinar. I cannot find, but I want you to go and find out. If you get it, it's yours. But you just give me only 20 dinar now. So now what happens? If he paid that 20 dinars, I mean the seller, the buyer. I mean the buyer pays the 20 dinar to the seller. Of course, the seller already lost the camel. So now after 1 day or half day, the buyer already got the camel. The lost camel has been found. Then what exactly happening now is he found it. He keeps the camel, but the one who sell for $20, 20 dinar, he already lost 30 dinar. So it's a loss for the seller. What if in another scenario? What if the buyer did not find the camel? He didn't find. He was searching for 1 week, 2 week, 3 week, 4 week. He didn't find. So now what's happening? The buyer is losing $20 because he already paid $20, right? The buyer already paid to the seller, but the seller is not gaining $20 for nothing, and at the same time the seller is gaining with $20 without anything. At the same time, the buyer is actually losing $20. So now in any way, in both scenarios, someone is losing something, the other one, and the cost of someone is gaining something. So it clearly shows that it is the gharar. If you want to bring this example, make sure that you can also talk about the same example in the contemporary modern transactions. People, if you are not sure that how much you are going to get the profit, you should not do. Actually, you cannot buy something that it might come, it might not come, right? You cannot pay something, you cannot pay for something and you hope that it might come, you might get it. No, there is no certainty. So this is what we call uncertainty, right? It looks like it's cheaper than the market price, but it is still uncertain whether you get it or not, right? So many examples you can actually bring it here according to these scenarios, but what I told you earlier, right? Which is actually when there is no product which is not clear, which is unknown. When the product is unknown, and when is the product is not deliverable, when is the product is running away, I mean it's not cannot stop with you, cannot be with you, then those are the causes that lead to gharar, right? In all these cases, the sale is void due to existence of uncertainty, as the seller may not be able to deliver the sold item and the purchaser does not know whether the item will later come to his possession or not. All right, so we need to be careful when we are dealing with the scams nowadays. So many scams are happening. They say that you come, you bring this money first, you pay this money first, you will be getting the long check, the huge money from UK, from US, and they will be telling you there is a unclaimed property available, unclaimed money is available. So these are all the scams. You must know how scams work, because it is now become quite common. Even every single day we see that our phones are ringing, and then they're asking us to asking about our info. They want to take our informations every single day. So we need to be very careful, and we need to be very. I mean, if we follow the rules, there is, of course, one thing that we don't commit any sins if we follow the rule. At the same time, if you follow the rule, you can also safeguard your properties. You would not be you wouldn't be ending spending your money in the wrong place. Yeah. Okay. Gharar may also arise when the effect of a certain contract is not known. If you don't know, and one of the parties may not know what he would achieve from the contract. If your outcome, if the effect, we talk about the purpose and effect, right? We know the purpose. What is the purpose of ijara? It's the transferring the usufruct from one end to the other end. And the effect, if you don't know the effect of ijara, if it is unknown, then it is also considered as a part of gharar. In a contract of employment, ijara may contain elements of gharar when the rights and duties of the properties are not clearly defined. So now if I come and reside in your home in a rental basis, so I should know my rights and duties. So I should know that what are the rooms that I am capable of using, what it is not, when how much electricity I can use it, how much water I can use it, what is the mechanism of payment of these usages. Yeah, entering, using the swimming pool area, using the gym area, right? If I'm living in your apartment, so these are the rights. It's my rights. For example, the parking. If I rent your home, I should have the parking, right? If I don't know about these kind of things, then it's a kind of gharar. Okay, someone can simply come and cheat. Similarly, a musharaka mudaraba contract may suffer from gharar if the percentage for the division of profit is not clearly defined. Such contracts are therefore considered void on the ground of gharar or uncertainty, as they may cause harm to one of the parties and unjustified enrichment to the other. So the same thing might happen to the partnership. When we are dealing with someone, we might trust him. Let's say I paid him 100,000 ringgit in the basis of mudaraba, but we didn't talk about the percentage, how much exactly we want to get it. We just leave it in this basis of the trust. It is actually a kind of, gharar might happen in this. I tell you, most of the time, this is also considered kind of gharar. You work for an institute, and then you are supposed to do the purchasing for that institute. You're supposed to use that public money, the company's money to do some purchases. Let's say you want to purchase some sort of papers and pencils, for example, right? So when you want to buy this kind of groceries, supplements, for these kind of things, you are supposed to, your responsibility is to get the low price, so that you are actually working as an amana and you just work for the company. But all of a sudden you make uh, you make a deal with the company who actually supply these kind of papers and pencils, the items that we use it for for the offices, yeah, all the supplementaries. And then the deal is, you supply these items to my office, but you should give me some percentage of commissions because I choose you. You got my point? Because I choose you, I can choose hundreds of you, hundreds people like you, but now I'm choosing you to do the supply to my office. Uh, so you have to pay certain percentage to me personally because I choose you. So this person who actually deal with this person is actually, one side he is also collecting his income, his salary from the company. The other side he also playing and taking the commissions from the suppliers who do the supplies to the office. So now clearly is a transaction it is prohibited, this kind of things, and this kind of things is never become halal for him, because his job is supposed to look for the cheapest, which will work, which is on the favor of the company. Now we are not doing he is not doing the favor to the company, he is actually causing additional cost, which is actually something wrong. The deal also is based on the gharar between this deal and the deal with the company. All right, so these are the things are happening nowadays. So I just want to give you the example, and other than that, any other deal that you are dealing with someone without knowing the outcome, without knowing how many percentage you are going to get, but you cannot know exactly how much money that you are going to get, because the profit, I mean the business always comes with the profit and loss. But how many percentage that you want to get, you want to share how many percentage of your profit, it must be known, otherwise it becomes gharar. All right. Okay. Frequently, ambiguities in a certain contract are designed to commit fraud and cheat one of the parties and lead to unlawful profit to the other. This is what I told you just now. The example is designed to commit fraud and cheat one of the parties and lead to unlawful profit to the others. They are therefore distinguished from uncertainties that may exist concerning the possibilities of loss or profit in the lawful business. These are not meant to cheat others. You see, you don't know the outcome, you don't know exactly how much the profit you're going to get. That one is actually we call uncertainties. So here you need to understand the differences between gharar and uncertainties, right? Because gharar is something that designed as a cheating, but uncertainty is something that you don't design, it happens because of the see now currently, for example, many businesses are in loss. Many business, they cannot actually pay back according to their agreement because of the COVID-19 pandemic, because the business are going down, so you don't have the enough profit to share. So what are you supposed to do, right? So these are the things are uncertainties, or you may also call risk, which we are going to talk about exactly what exactly risk and what exactly gharar. Is there differences? Yes, there are differences. So we will actually talk about the differences between gharar and risk. Gharar is also distinguished from uncertainty or risk that is naturally associated with certain business ventures. Manufacturers, importers, exporters, and traders are uncertain whether their products and goods could find a suitable market or not. So now what exactly how the economic development on this, how it works. It works based on the determination, based on the guessing what's going to happen in future, right? It's a kind of measurement they do, scaling they call it, kind of survey, you can call it. Okay, I have this product, I'm going to produce it, like for example in millions, and then I run a survey that people really need this kind of product, and on what basis, how much the price that I can fix it for the price for the product. So these are the survey. You can actually have some sort of based on some scaling measurement that you have. um, all right, but the truth is, you never know exactly what's going to happen in the future, because it is still uncertainties. So we are not talking about that kind of uncertainties when it comes to gharar. Gharar is different from uncertainties. They are uncertain about the amount of profit and the possibility of loss. This type of uncertainty is not intentionally created. See that? It is not intentionally created. It happens. It happened because of some reason. Created by the parties, neither are they resigned to commit fraud. All right. The parties make all the efforts to minimize losses. However, they cannot totally eliminate the possibility of loss and guarantee profit. Right. The parties also do not leave success of the business to chance. Unlike gambling is different. They don't give it for the chance. But in the gambling is different, where pure chance decides the winner and the loser. In business, the parties have to render all the necessary efforts in order to make profit. Right? This is the difference between business and gambling. Because in business, you have to give your 100%. You have to give your 100%, and you wait for the efforts. You wait for the success in your efforts. But in gambling, it's not like that, because purely there is only one winner, there is another one a loser. Because it's not like they are going to share the winning. It's never going to happen in gambling. If you are sharing your winning, it is not gambling, it's a kind of business that what we are doing. So in gambling, that's not going to happen. So that's why one guy is actually clearly he is suffering from, he is going to suffer, the other guy is going to gain. So there is no mutual consent in those, because there is no mutual consent based on exchanging the core values. There is no exchanging core values, because there's only one person is actually getting everything, the other one is not getting anything. That's the reason why gambling is haram. This type of risk is combined with efforts that may eventually lead to profit. All right. So this kind of risk, because risk will come with together with the efforts, but maybe the risk has been taken right now. You will not see the profit or the result immediately. You have to wait until it comes, but eventually it happens. That's why they are taking the risk. Maybe you will be thinking someone is opening a big shop in a place where there is no people. He's taking the risk, to open that shop, and then he is doing the promotion, he's doing the marketing. Slowly, people started coming. People started seeing the product is actually doing very well. The consumers, they started recognizing the products, and then started giving the testimony of the usage of the product. But slowly it builds up. The market slowly comes and comes, and then one day he will be getting his profits, that whatever that he was expecting earlier. So eventually it happens when there is a risk, proper risk. Yeah. So now let me tell you what are the points that you need to remember to understand the differences between gharar and risk. All right. The first point is, gharar itself is a potentially deceptive ambiguity. All right, it's a potentially deceptive ambiguity in a certain agreement, but risk is the opposite. Risk is a type of uncertainty, and it is not designed to cheat. Because when it comes to gharar, the one who is going to do gharar, he has already designed how to do it. You have seen so many examples of the videos and TV series or maybe some other videos, and you see them how they cheat people. They actually design properly. They actually train people how to cheat others. At the end of the day, it's a cheating. Cheating is a cheating. Right? No one will accept cheating, whether they call them genius or they call them intellectual, but it's a cheating. Cheating is a completely cheating. So what I'm trying to say is, when it comes to uncertainty and risk, it is not designed to cheat. It happens because of the circumstances. But gharar, potentially deceptive ambiguity. All right, that is the first one. The second point is gharar is not anticipated by the party at whom it is intended, while risk is anticipated. Because you see, a gharar is something no one will expect it. Because when I show you this is a great product, this is a great phone, and I'm telling you this is like iPhone, this is a very good phone inside, everything is good, the power of the RAM, the storage and everything. So uh, I show you the right phone in front of you for you to check. But when I give you the package is actually with a different phone inside. It looks the same, but inside is a different. Okay, so gharar, because you don't expect this. When you go home and you open, you're surprised to see, oh my goodness, what happened? This is not the phone exactly. It looks the same, but inside is different. All right, so you don't expect gharar, but risk is something that you expect. It happens because you already know you are buying a second-hand phone, and then he says that okay, this is the second-hand phone, but this phone has few problems. So I hope I tell you earlier, this phone may get heat or maybe the storage is not good enough, but this is the price for the second-hand phone. You're okay with it, you take it. So now you go home, you open it, of course you expect that risk because you already know, right? That is the expectation, is the second point. The third point is gharar is directed at another person, while risk is taken by a person himself. Gharar is actually from me to you. Let's say if I'm the person who do a gharar, who practice gharar, then I don't cheat myself. I always cheat others, right? So now I throw the coins to you. I want to make you feel good with that product. I want you to say yes. I want you to sell the product, whatever it matters. I just am trying to show all the way that I can make you like it, and then you buy it. So it's a kind of direct use. The cheating is always direct use. But when it comes to risk, well, risk is taken by a person himself, because when I take risk is actually I know the thing, so I take risk. So I know the thing. Okay, I am ready to buy this house, but there is a leakage in the house. I'm ready to buy this car, but the tire, I have to change the tire. I'm ready to buy this, but I'm ready to buy this brand rather than that brand. This brand is cheaper, that brand is expensive. Both of them are the same, but this brand may have some problem in this. Maybe this brand has few features is not there. Few features are lack compared to other brands. So I'm okay with that, not having the feature. Maybe if I buy this phone, maybe the camera is not so good like this phone, but I'm okay with that camera. I'm okay with that storage. I'm okay with that, speed of the camera of the phone, whatever it is. Yeah. So your risk is actually something that you are taking by yourself. All right. For instance, in case of sale, the seller may leave some terms and conditions ambiguous in order to cheat the purchaser. However, in case of risk, it is the seller himself who takes the risk of whether the goods would be sold or not. All right. Okay. The fourth one, number 4. Gharar arises when information is not disclosed. Remember this. When the information is opened, when the information is disclosed, means opened, it's available for you, then you already know about the product, then you are buying it, which means that once you know about the product, once you know the problem, and then you want to buy, means you want to take risk, right? You want to take risk. But when it comes to gharar, uh, uh, when it comes to gharar, it is actually something that information is not disclosed, meaning to say that they hide, they, which means that they hide the informations. You are not going to know what exactly with that product. All right, maybe they say that it looks very good, but inside they are not showing you the information. They are not leaking the information that this product has a problem. For example, this product, if you start using it, uh, the phone, if you start using it, it becomes like oven. Maybe the heat from the phone. So they are not actually disclosing the information. So it becomes gharar. Once they disclose, then it becomes risk. For instance, gharar exists when the shareholders don't know where the money is invested. Uh, See that? Now I'm ready to take your money. Let's say you want to invest 100,000 ringgit in my business. Uh, and I'm not telling you where I'm going to put your money, right? And then there's a possibility of loss. Okay, so if the shareholders, they don't know where the money is invested, then it could be the information is not disclosed, so it becomes gharar. But risk, on the other hand, exists even when there is a full disclosure of information, right? So, so risk is something that the information is always there. You know, when you open, here's a description paper, you will start reading it, and then they will tell the advantages of the product and then the disadvantage of the product. So when you know all these things is available, when people make it available to tell you, for example, even I would say when you are buying a product from online sale, for example, I know you will be reading, going through the description of the product. Am I right? You will be going down to see what is in the package. When you get the box, what is inside the box? It's a kind of information they are giving you. Because sometimes you buy, but you are expecting something, it is not there. Maybe according to the description, he is right. He says, yeah, we are selling you only this. We are not selling you together with this. If you want to buy together with this, then there will be additional cost. But I would say even you have to look into those reviews. You know, people actually come and they say how is the product. Usually they show, because when you see the online sales, which is we call internet sales, you know, digital economy, when it comes to that, you know, the photo of original, you know, they don't show, it will be illustrated photo. It is not exactly like original. But if you look into the reviews, the opinions of the people, you will see there are sort of, you know, there are many real photos which you can actually see how the product looks like. Sometimes, you know, in the photo it looks like big, but they never show you exactly. But of course they will describe it in the description box, what is the centimeter or is the width and height, and you know, the length and everything. But nowadays, you know, who knows that measurement? Because people, they don't know the measurement. Even they say 50 meters, 50 centimeters, we don't know exactly how much is the 50 centimeter, and then we just order according to the description. He is right, But when it comes to you, open the box, you surprise, what? This is the size I thought it will be big, right? Especially when you buy the toy, when you buy the toy car, for example, the automatic remote car or something. So it will be size like, they always say 12 foot, 24, 36, 56, the size, they call it the ratio. 1 is to 12, 1 is to 24. Yeah. So you have to be looking into the size. Usually they don't show you the size. For example, when they are showing you the image, right? They don't show the image together with the man or women, because that will show you the exact size of the product. Instead, they will only show you the product just to make you believe that, the product is good and big. But in the description, there is somewhere, they are actually writing it down that this is the size of the product. It is just a kind of, some people may read and then they decide whether they want to buy or not. So that is actually information is already disclosed. Some people may just buy just because of the photo. That's why those photos are for illustration purpose only. You have to be careful to buy. So now things are happening, but luckily we have a very valid platform who sell this kind of product. Maybe the dealers may do this kind of mistakes. The dealers who are selling to you the product may give you the wrong product, but the platform who is allowing to meet you and the dealer together in the platform will take in charge, and if you complain to the platform will take back the report and make him to pay back the refund and return policy, right? So that's why. Anyway, so I think now most probably people are going back to online sale. Now I know people are using, now everything is actually, what we call it, today we call it digital economy or internet economy, or you call it sharing economy. I think this is the trend that you are going to hear again and again and again. So when we talk about the sharing economy, and then you have e-commerce, which I told you just now. E-commerce is actually selling and buying in online platform. Then you have e-hailing, which actually you always book. You love to book Grab, right? Or Uber, this kind of e-hailing services. Then you also have hospitality, which is actually internet booking, lodging, finding rooms in Airbnb, this kind of things. Yeah. So now you need to also understand where exactly the gharar comes, where exactly the risk is there. So this is up to you. You need to choose between gharar and risk. Yeah. So I think that is the most important thing. I just want to give you the modern examples. Remember, relate yourself with the modern examples. That would always help you to understand and learn more. How to avoid gharar in transactions? Of course, in order to eliminate the possibilities of gharar, Muslim jurists have laid down various conditions for different contracts. Generally, in certain contract, all conditions concerning offer and acceptance, the parties, I mean the three pillars must be fulfilled. That is the first thing. Make sure that you are buying something and you want to be avoided. You don't want to be a part of the cheating. Make sure that the three pillars are fulfilled. For example, in order to prevent gharar, the quality and quantity of the subject matter, the price, the date of payment, if the payment is deferred, the date of delivery must be agreed on the by parties. Yeah. For example, the ijara contract, it must be clearly defined what is the usifract, what exactly you can use, what are the things that you have the rights and duty to offer. If it is a musharaka mudaraba contract, you must know the distribution of the profit, how many percentage that you are going to get and everything. And like I told you, the online sale, additional examples you must always keep on taking and taking. So if it is an online sale, make sure that you are buying the product, you are looking into the photo, it is the right photo, the size is correct, it is the descriptions is right according to the photo, and there is always a Q&A. Remember, question and answer. You can actually ask the seller what exactly that you are selling, right? You can ask what exactly it is. You can ask about some potential information about that particular product. Yeah. So these are the things that you can actually engage, get the informations once you are so sure about it, and then other people also talk about it is very good. Don't only go with the 5 stars, because sometimes even the traders themselves, give the 5 stars. They ask people to give 5 stars just for the sake of selling, but you need to go through and look for 2 stars. Usually you look for the 2 stars. What is the reason they give for the 2 stars? Then they will be saying, they will tell the truth. Why I gave 2 stars instead of 5 stars? Because of these problems. Uh, from there you understand exactly the problem of the product. Rather than just looking only into the 5 stars, always look for the 2 stars and 3 stars and 1 stars, so that they are the only people who tell the problems of the product. Then from there you understand the right product and buy the right product. So become the part of the right economy. Become contribute yourself into the just economy. All right, that is very important. So every single every single um, ignorance of yours, every single ignorance of yours will always trigger a bad economy. Remember that. If you start buying things because it looks attractive, and you are actually contributing into the bad economy, because other people also will follow you. Every single cent that you are spending, make sure that you are spending on the right product, because you have that knowledge. You can actually find out, the right thing to do. But there are so many laymen outside, they don't have the proper knowledge, they don't have the proper facility to find out. So you or the students, especially in economics, make sure that you choose the right product, you buy the right product. Do not waste your money. Make sure that you put the right money in the right place. Yeah, that one will give the right economy. All right. Tolerated uncertainty. All right, tolerated uncertainty is actually something. Some of the um, traditions customarily accepted. There are certain transactions where the degree of uncertainty is minimal and customarily accepted. So there are few things that we can actually tolerate. For example, the parking ticket, right? So you see, for example, you go into any super mall and then you pay for the parking ticket, and then maybe one of your friends stayed, both of you went to the parking. I mean, 2 3 people went to the same supermarket, but you people didn't, all of you didn't stay for the same hours. Someone returned early, someone returned late. Maybe the parking hours that you paid the payment could be the same, though you didn't spend the same amount of the hours, same amount of the time. You got my point? So these are the tolerated uncertainty. Even it good to see, even nowadays people, the companies are eager to bring, you pay as you use kind of concept. I really like it. Why should I pay more than what I use, right? Especially when it comes to packages that they bring it in the postpaid and prepaid, and in your for your communications that you're using in your phone, the package of your um, internet, or your incoming call, outgoing calls, SMS, and other stuff. It is actually, some places there is a fixed price. There is no less or no less or in some places, there are in some companies they provide, okay, as you pay as you use it. Yeah, it's a kind of good thing. Even the fare that you are taking, for example, if you are buying a ticket, let's say traveling somewhere, fare ticket, yeah, flight. Um, Maybe you are buying only for the ticket, and then you pay extra for the food, you pay extra for the luggage. Some companies, they have the fixed price. Whether you want to eat or you don't want to eat, still you have to pay the money, right? So these are the differences are there. Some of them can be tolerated, some of them of course cannot be tolerated. So the one cannot be tolerated, it won't come under this, right? So that one is one example I can give you. The parking time is subject to the matter of the contract, which is not specified. However, since it's customarily accepted, Fiqh also tolerates this kind of things. Similarly, in Mudaraba contract, the amount of efforts put in by the Mudarib cannot be known and defined in advance, because a Mudarib or your partner cannot tell you how much exactly he's going to make, because it is impossible to tell in advance. Neither they can be quantified, okay, cannot be defined and cannot be quantified. The uncertainty is tolerated and is left to the trust and agreement between the parties. So this is the gray area. Almost, you may get 1,000 ringgit, but more or less, maybe you may get 1,100 or you may get 900. So these are the tolerated amount of income. So these are the things is accepted. As I told you, if there's a difference of one ticket to another ticket, like 50 ringgit and 10 ringgit, 20 ringgit kind of differences, then it is actually tolerated. Sometimes if you go to any place whereby they have differences in the ticketing. For example, you go to a play, you go to a water park or theme park, for example, yeah. So you go there, and then there's a difference for the whole package. There's a difference for the separate packages. You pay per ride. I like that one. You pay per ride, because of course I go there. I'm or I bring my children. They go there, but they are not actually interested in riding in every single single machines they have, single every single play they have, games they have. So maybe it's good to go with the paper, right? Or if it is the difference is only few ringgit in that context, then I think it is tolerable. All right. So I think I will just stop here, and I will show you the attendance. Then we can have a question and answer. Right. Okay.